Ain't that a bitch? Listen. Listen. Ain't that a bitch? Listen. Ain't that a bitch? Listen. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, man. This is an impromptu stream.
Listen. Ain't that a bitch?
When I stream on Ain't That a Bitch, when I stream these episodes, they're just random.
Ain't that a bitch?
So it's not like a set thing. So majority of y'all can watch it in the morning or whenever y'all get to
Listen.
it.
Ain't that a bitch?
Let me go ahead and shut the theme down. All right, so hold up. Damn it. Hold on. All right. And I misplaced those three little damn things. All right, so welcome back to another episode of Ain't That a Bitch. This is about Drew Slees and his apology. First of all, Black America, I don't think that you should accept his apology at all. I'm tired of when these racist white people comment and say things that's not appropriate, and then they come back later on after they've been dragged through the mud and they try to recant their statement. No. Whatever you say in the beginning, that's how you feel. So, and I'm not giving him a pass because he did a lot of stuff for the African American community in St. Louis. I'm not giving you a pass because you can still be a white person and have that white privilege mentality, and you do it out of you feel sorry for the people. You don't feel where they're coming from. You just feel sorry for them. And that's what I feel that where he's coming from. Now, if I was one of his teammates, would I accept his apology? Or if I was a fan from the Saints, would I accept his apology? Would I welcome him back when the football season came back? Me, I personally wouldn't. I would shun him so he can feel it. There's no amount of words that you can say to take back what you said. Let's go all the way back to when all this stuff started before the murdering of Mr. Floyd. And even, I think I did an episode and I said something about Colin Kaepernick because I'm not a sports fan. I'm not a real big sports fan, right? So I kind of discredit Colin Kaepernick abilities because I didn't really know him. He wasn't a name that stuck out to me like any other quarterbacks, right? So when I said something about the kneeling process, I never took it as a disrespectment of the flag. So I just said something about him personally. I agree with everything that he was saying. So when he said that he was taking a knee due to the, basically, I don't know the words verbatim, but basically he was saying that there are unarmed black men in America that are getting killed by the police and they're not being held accountable. That was his preaching, right? So that happened like I don't know how many years ago. And now we come to this current day where we see officers, we already see them killing people. So this is not the first time we've seen them kill people on tape. This is not the first time. And that's not to throw any shade at the Floyd family. It's just saying that this is not the first time that they actually witness a murder of African American unarmed man. You know what I'm saying? That has been detained. This is not the first time. So that just boiled over. You know, like if you ever put a pot on the stove and you put some water in it, eventually it's going to boil over or it's going to become real dry, and either outcome is going to start a fire, right? I predicted this months, years ago, right? I do not know what episode that I said that eventually there's going to come a day where something's going to happen and people are going to get together by the masses and cause a lot of destruction. I didn't know, I'm not Karnak, so I can't gaze inside the future. I don't know none of that stuff. So I only said that knowing that something was going to happen. Now, I don't know if it would have happened in my lifetime. Was I going to be able to see it? Or my daughter kids, or my daughter or her kids were going to see it? I didn't know that it would happen so soon. Didn't know. So now it happened. And his whole thing, he even said it, he even told you, Colin Kaepernick told you what he was kneeling for. Now, the jackass in the White House, the Grand Wizard, what I call him, he changed the whole narrative to the dishonoring of the flag. And let me tell you my opinion on why you would do it on the anthem, right? That's you protest that in the while the anthem is being played, because that is the one time where the crowd is majority for the long point is quiet. There's no action going on the field, so they're being quiet, and it's not you can do something to gather their attention. Now, if the football game was going on and they was protesting, silently protested, there's the ground, you wouldn't have noticed it because you had too much action going on. But when everybody is standing up and putting their hands over their heart, and then you tend to see some people kneeling down on the ground, like, well, what they kneeling down for? So that's the reason why he did it on that. That's my guess, right? So you fast forward to this present day. It is the immediate reaction of him kneeling, and then you see the kneeling of this cowardly cop killing this man for 8 minutes. He stood on his neck for 8 minutes with his knee. He kneeled on that man's neck with his knee. So while all of this is going on, vandalism, riots, protesting, which I am full support of that. And the reason why I'm full support of that is because if they didn't riot, if they didn't cause destruction, they wouldn't have never had a voice. If they would have just protested, they wouldn't have never had a voice. It wasn't until destruction of people property had to open up their eyes. You had to sacrifice Gucci stores. You had to sacrifice Louis Vuitton, Versace, all these high-end stores. And then they start to wake up. Then they start to get mad. You had to loot Target and Walmart and all these GameStops and all these other places. You had to loot that stuff and be destructive to get hurt. That's the only way that you would have got hurt. Because if these people would have came out there with these peaceful protesting, you see what happened. You see what happened with the 70-year-old man when they pushed him, and he was white. So you see why they had to be destructive. And I don't have anything negative to say about that. It is what it is. But getting back to Drew Slees is what I'm calling him now. Let's see y'all burn his jersey. Now, Slees, I hope this gets back to you. But the reason why no one should accept your apology is because when you made that statement, clearly you did not listen to Kaepernick when he said he's not kneeling to disrespect the flag. He's kneeling to bring awareness of unarmed black men being killed by police. You have selective fucking hearing, and that is not what you heard. What you heard was the rhetoric of the Grand Wizard that's in the White House that flipped the script. If these sons of bitches don't follow rules, they should be out of the country. If you don't like America, then you should leave. Hey, we didn't ask to come over here and work for free and build this fucking country up. And to get off topic, right? I was outside in the backyard yesterday doing some stuff, right? And I overheard my neighbor make the same fucking point that I used to make in elementary school when I used to get in trouble and I used to get sent to the principal office about this punk ass Christopher Columbus. He said the exact shit that I said. How the fuck you going to discover something that never was lost? There was already people in America before it was even called America. You found it and you claimed it and you took it from these Native Americans. So Drew Slees, when you make comments like that and you make comments about your grandfather and your father who fought in these wars, guess what? Fuck your grandfather and fuck his father or whatever. Fuck them two people. Because you only recognize them two as like they was like Optimus Prime and they won a war on the country and shit. They saved the fucking day. You act like them two motherfuckers was like Superman and Batman or something. And they was the only two motherfuckers that was in the war that look, Breeze, Slees. And I'm not gonna apologize for saying fuck your grandfather and fuck your father and whoever else that served in the war. You know why? Because when the black men aside them fought in that same fucking war, when they came home, they was fighting for their freedom, which they was promised. Some of them was forced to go over there. Some of them volunteered to go over there because they volunteered because they thought, okay, if we win this war, we're going to go back to America and we're going to have this freedom. Or when we not go back, but when we win this war, we're going to have the freedom. After the war was won, when these black soldiers came back home, they were beaten, they were killed, they were lynched. They were enslaved again. They weren't allotted the same freedom as your punk ass grandparents or your punk ass ancestors. They wasn't allotted that freedom. So to that I say, fuck your family members that served in there. That's how it is, man. And then people may comment, why you saying fuck their family members? You know why? Because of that insensitive comment that you made. That's why I'm saying fuck your family members that served in the military. Slees, Drew Slees. because you discounted everything that African Americans did in that war that fought alongside of your ancestors. And when they came home in those uniforms, how they was treated. Now you can't backtrack that shit. And like I said before, I'm tired of you black folks out here that when you hear these racist comments, especially right now, it was not the fucking time. It was not, it was so inappropriate. It was so inappropriate at this time or any other time, but especially this time of Mr. Floyd's death. That was the wrong fucking move. You shouldn't have never said that shit. You shouldn't have never came out your mouth and said that. Because that's honestly how you felt. So deep down inside, this is how I know that you don't mean a goddamn thing that you said about equality and all that other shit. If there was a riot to start, blacks against whites, or not even blacks against whites, blacks and all other races that's tired of the racism against the racist people. Or should I say, racist people against the non-racist people. And non-racist people, I would include every nationality. You know, Puerto Rican, Chinese, white, Mexicans, all that. Everybody that's not racist against the racists. And mostly racist, get that broad Candace, whatever. Her ass will be over there. Her and Trump, little bed humper, Omarosa, that little wench. She would be on that. She would be on the racist side because she would agree with all them white folks. You would be right over there with them too. The problem is that I believe you have a helmet, and under that helmet, I believe that there's a mask and a Klan's mask that's under there. You subconsciously said exactly what you felt. And you feel that black people don't have a place in this world. That's what you honestly believe. That's what you honestly believe. We're good enough to come to your games. We're good enough to pay to see you play. We're good enough to support you. We're good enough to make you a millionaire. We're good enough to pay your bills. We're good enough to do all that shit, but we're not good enough to be equal to you. Hey, look. Believe and say that you want. If you want to be a racist, be a racist. If you want to not be a racist, then don't be a racist. That whole shit is up to you, right? It's all up to you. You do what the fuck you want to do. But there's a time to say that shit. Something in here. No, it's not a time to say anything. It's a time not to say shit, and it's another time not to say shit. And this was the time not to say shit. And what's so disingenuous, and the other reason why you should not accept this man's apology is because he's in New Orleans. He's in one of the areas where there is continuous police brutality. He's in a locker room where you have African American teammates that came from poverty. You're in a locker room where you have teammates that suffered injustice. You're in a locker room with teammates that have to watch over their shoulder just because they black and they driving a nice car and they go into maybe a raunchy neighborhood, do whatever the fuck they doing, to go pick up some ass, to go pick up some weed, to whatever the fuck they doing. It's a free country. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? When they're driving in these nice neighborhoods, they get pulled over. How you get this car, nigga? And if you ain't Deion Sanders or Michael Irvin or Shaq, and I'm not saying anything bad about these brothers, or Kevin Hart or whoever else, Prince or Michael Jackson, if you not one of these cats, you don't have that familiar face, that recognizable face, and you pull up and you driving a fucking Ferrari or Maybach or Bentley, and the police pull you over and you black, and the first thing they're going to think in their heads, or they're going to say out loud, is where this nigga get this car from. That's exactly where they're going to think. So, Drew Slees, I think that you are a racist. I think that you are, your apology should fall on deaf ears. There's nothing that you can do for the black community to take back what you said. Because if you notice, when he did apologize, he didn't say that it was wrong. The statements that he made was wrong. He didn't say the statements that he made was wrong. He said that it was taken out of character. That's still saying you believe what you believe. And you believe that Colin Kaepernick kneeled to disrespect the flag. After every fucking thing that we done been through these past couple of weeks, you still believe that he was kneeling because of the flag. And then, like, the whole football shit, I'm not a big sports fan, so I could care less if football season came back or not. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not a big football fan. I play Madden. If anybody wants to see me on Madden, you know where I'm at. I'm still undefeated. But I'm not a person that sit down here and watch football games. I'll watch the Super Bowl just for the commercials. You know what I'm saying? If I go over to somebody's house for a Super Bowl party, while they sitting up there watching the game, I'm eating some chips or drinking some beer. As soon as the commercials come on, I'm like, shh, 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 shh. And then when the game come back on, I'll go back and get some more chips. So I could care less about. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't give you 20 people that play football that's outside of the notoriety, like O.J. Simpson and John Madden and fucking Ray Lewis, Emmitt Smith. Now I'm getting thin. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Colin Kaepernick. Ask me to name 20 people that played in NFL, and I can give you maybe 10 people. Other than that, I wouldn't know. So again, your apology, at least in my book, is falling on deaf ears. I was never a Saints fan. I am not a sports fan. I could care less if you came back. I know that when you come back, that locker room, they're going to feel some type of way. They fuck around, probably treat you like they did, like Washington did RG3. When you go back on the field, the motherfuckers that defend you, the defender line, that line and shit, you might as well buy some barricades, some plastic barricades, and defend yourself. Because if there's a whole lot of black people on that front line, they may step to the left or the right for you to get sacked. Oh, you better watch your back, boy. You better watch your back on the field, man. That was a good one. I just thought of that too. You better watch your back on the field because, oh man, you better watch your back on the field because the motherfucker gonna cut left or cut right, and you gonna get sacked. You gonna get sacked a lot. I guarantee you. Watch now. Remember what I said. Drew Slees is gonna get tackled A lot. It's gonna be a lot of fumbles, a lot of interceptions, a lot of motherfucking safeties and all that other shit, or blitz. There's gonna be a lot of fucking blitz because you done fucked up. You done fucked up, son. So that's what it is. Drew Slees, your apology is really falling on deaf ears. Your statement was the wrong statement. You can feel the way that you feel, but you should not have taken the attention away from not Mr. Floyd and the movement. And Grand Wizard, if you're listening to this shit, keep George Floyd name out your fucking mouth. Don't say his fucking name because you have no empathy and no sympathy, no regret, no remorse for that man's death. He's just another black man that's gone. And I told y'all that they was going to bring up his criminal history. Now I can go back and find the clip on that one because that was a couple of episodes ago of Ain't That a Bitch. I told y'all that they were going to bring up his criminal past. What does his criminal past have to do with him being murdered? Has anybody found out about that $20 bill that was supposedly fake? And even if it was fake, you can get fake money passed on to you. So how would he know that it was fake? And how do you go from being up against the wall to sitting on the ground to being on the ground and being in handcuffs? Because the whole time when he was up against the wall, he was in handcuffs. When he was sitting on the ground, he was in handcuffs. So why couldn't y'all just go ahead and put him in the back of the squad car for that $20 fucking? And then the cops, why weren't they immediately arrested? And as I said before, if I go inside the Dollar Tree and I steal me a pack of chips and walk out, I'll get arrested. If there's a cop in there, I will get arrested. He will go back and look at the footage. I'll be going to the county. They wouldn't wait a couple of days. And I can see if they weren't there. But if they were in the store while I stole, I would be going to jail because the evidence would have been on that camera and that's all they would need. But it took them too long to arrest these officers. Just like the officers that got into it with those kids that broke curfew. That wasn't even part of the protest. That you can look at the video. They was on Roland Martin. They slashed their tires. They pulled them out the car. They broke his window, pepper sprayed him, and they fired him. The cops eventually got fired. But the governor said that don't jump to conclusions. You don't have to be on red alert like that. They were in the car. The only thing, and then the trippier part about it is, in front of them there was a whole car full of white teenagers, and they didn't bother them. So racism is on high alert, and I guarantee you, if the outcome is not what it's supposed to be, with these officers being charged, they're gonna ride all over again. They're gonna ride all over again. So expect some more destruction, because I don't think this jury, if they do convict him, I don't think they're gonna give him any type of serious time. He may get like a couple of years, but he's not gonna get as much time as if a black man killed a white person. So Slees, again, I'm about to end this shit, but Slees, unacceptable. I don't accept your apology. You are so ignorant at this point. And to all my people of color that are so quick to forgive these these white racist people that come out with these comments. To all my people that's so quick to forgive, but yet you want equality. Y'all some coons, man. Y'all some fucking coons, man. So if you forgive Drew Slees for what he said, remember, in his apology, he didn't say his statement about the situation was wrong. He said he just shouldn't have gone about it that way. It's totally different. That's totally fucking different. That's a totally different view between I'm wrong for what I said and I shouldn't have said it that way. What the fuck you mean? You're not apologizing. You're not apologizing at all. So,
listen, ain't mad a bit.
Fuck you, Drew
ain't mad a bit.
And your folks that serve. Remember, my folks served too, but they wasn't received with a hero's welcome when they came back. They were enslaved or killed, murdered, hung. While your white ass grandfathers or your white ass father or whoever the fuck served in your family, they came back to donuts and coffee and balloons and confetti. We came back to bullets, ropes, trees, and dog bites. Ain't that a bitch? Fuck you, Drew Slees. Y'all be easy.
Ain't bad a bit. Ain't bad a bit.